Tekken 8 hits different, good and bad. So I woke up and got word from the homies and Bandai Namco that Tekken 8 closed alpha test is at Combo Breaker. So I got up, took the 2-hour travel time, just not for myself, not for the people, but for the content, you feel me?
Call her, Tina, whatever you want to call her. Listen. She got me here today. I wasn't gonna come today. I was asleep. And she was like, come through, play Tekken. And I didn't finesse the niggas.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
I put myself in a very bad dilemma right now, bro. Y'all know that meme with the guy looking at the girl walk past, but his actual girl's behind him? That's me with Tekken 8 and Street Fighter 6 coming out Friday. Not gonna sugarcoat it. Tekken 8 is a beautiful game. I'm not gonna lie to you. I got to play the game on the most beautiful screen ever, and having the sound in your face. You think YouTube is one thing in 4K? No, seeing it in person, seeing the spectacle, the effects, and how crazy it is also something very dope about Tekken 8. It's a visual masterpiece and a huge upgrade for Tekken graphics, in my opinion. The worst thing that happened to me at that event was I got done finishing playing Tekken 8, the closed alpha test, walked outside and saw Tekken 7 on the big screen, and my eyes felt like it was slow. Like I was like, what is this? This does not look like the same game I just played. Coming from like Smash 4 and then playing Smash Ultimate a lot, and then you go look at Smash 4 now, and you're like, the knockback is so weird. Why is this game so slow? That is the effect that happened to me. Don't get me wrong, Tekken 7 is still a fun, amazing spectacle to watch and even play in a lot of situations, period, right? But I do think Tekken 8 did some magic tricks. It's a huge upgrade, and it is not Tekken 7.5. That's cap. Don't let anybody tell you that. Next thing I want to say is that each session gave us 25 minutes of playtime, but I was lucky enough to have the ability to go 3 times, and I'll explain that later in the video. Disclaimer, I am not a pro player, and this is my opinion from a person who's been getting into trying to actually learn Tekken, because I understand fighting games even more than more of a just casualistic approach method that I usually just play Tekken for, right? So I'll give my opinions on those things from that perspective. Number 1, how is the movement in Tekken 8? So let me tell you right now, Tekken 8 movement feels very similar to Tekken 7. It was kind of weird moving forward and back a little bit. Very, very weird. And it feels like they want you to use the game mechanics to carry you in that specific manner when it comes to getting in on opponents, things of that nature. But it is an alpha. They could potentially fix that 100%. I also know or heard that Harada bought a hitbox and a snack box or whatever at Combo Breaker, so he's probably going to use that to test it with Tekken 8 or things of that nature. Don't be surprised if like around 2024, somewhere towards the release of the game, they come out like Capcom did with Hitbox but for Tekken. I could see something like that potentially happening, or they probably might just go, hey, it's easier to do. But I will say sidestepping in the game was beautiful. If I wanted to sidestep, 9 times out of 10, 99% success rate, bro. I definitely got my sidestep moves out. That felt really good. It just felt very different when it came to moving forward and back. But I will also say the character with the best movement that I thoroughly enjoyed, and I didn't think I was going to enjoy this character, Nina, is looking like the character for me. Nina in June was the character I've played the most. And I will also come out and say already that I pretty much bounced around with all of the cast, using the little move display that they gave us to try to write some things down and just see how I feel about the cast so far. The top 3 characters that I like so far in Tekken 8 has to go to Jun Kazama, Nina, and Xiaoyu. I knew I was a Xiaoyu at heart. I didn't put it into play. Now that I understand her stance and the changes of it, the trailers for Xiaoyu are clickbait. People gonna be getting cooked. The character that I had the least amount of likes for, visually, he's cool. I did not like playing Jin at all. It felt very weird to me. The councils weren't really there or anything like that. I just didn't know what I was doing. It felt completely new. But again, you've been playing Jin and seeing Jin for so long, right? It's like different. So I'm not used to it. I would say that. The character that's saucy though, the character that has the most big visual effects has to go to Lars. Lars was crazy. His kick, the dive kick, I can see a lot of people getting stuffed into that because you can combo into it whenever you want to. And it will do a lot of damage, especially against the wall. So I don't know. I'm excited about that. Now, I'm going to go to the Q&A section of the video where I asked the YouTube community on my community post and on YouTube about what y'all want to ask about Tekken 8. So let's get into it. So LS Uchiha says, what are your opinions on the heat mechanic and how does it compare to Rave Drive, as well as how does it fundamentally affect the characters? Thank you. What's up, bruh? So I'm coming out and say straightforward that the heat mechanic does help the game and affect the game in a lot of ways than none. The best way I can put heat mechanic in my perspective reminds me of like Blaze Blue's Resonance Blaze. Move properties changes, hits change, that type of thing is what it gives me the feeling of from my experience. I think Street Fighter and Tekken 8 both have the similar ideology that they have mechanics that have depth that add to the game overall. And that's pretty dope. Once you master those, the game will change for you. Now, Heat Engager, this is one thing I don't like. Heat Engager, you have to get the hit, and once you get the hit, Heat Engager is different because you can't cancel Heat Engager, right? And I guess they don't want you to do that. They want to see the big cinematic hit and the blowback on defense. But even when I do get the hit, I still can't cancel it and do whatever I want to do. And I don't think that'll happen for Tekken 8 if somewhere in between Season 1 or down the road in Season 2 or whenever they get to that point. I can see a complaint about Heat Engager is when you get the hit, it can be very stale and repetitive for some people because essentially all you're doing is getting the hit. You got to watch the Russian animation, which is why I hope in the future they let us cancel the animation after we get the hit or something like that. I don't know. That's something I would like to see. But other than that, it ain't that big of a deal. I think Heat Smash is the coolest thing they've done to Tekken. Each character has these big like characteristic attacks that come out. You know, Nina with the guns, Paul with the 3-hit like smash. Those moves are pretty cool. Every character has very unique things in that game. I personally think it's better Rage Drive, because from my experience with Tekken 7, Rage Drive is usually used as a clutch mechanic, and it's just you see the blue attack and it's bam, and then now you get to do some crazy damage off of it. If you want me to give you a description or some type of like interpretation, think of Pokemon. Level 5 is Rage Drive, level 35 is Heat. There's so much more stuff you can do from the Heat system versus Tekken giving you like either or Rage Drive or Rage Art. Millie Illuminati asks, are the cinematics on the moves as bad as it looks? Also, Heat Engager makes Tekken seem casual. The thing I loved about the series, how unforgiving it is when you don't have the knowledge. Always something to learn. Nowadays, I feel games are losing their identity and our craft that happens in Tekken 8. Well, I'm not the biggest Tekken like gameplay head, but I will tell you right now, it doesn't feel like it's losing its identity. I feel like it's adding to it. Now, you could argue that it might get mashy early on because people are going to be doing things, but it adds another layer of knowledge you got to think about, right? And coming from before Tekken 7 and things of that nature, only certain select characters had meter. I think this is going to be a whole nother layer to Tekken's gameplay, right? So if you want even more stuff from Tekken 7 in the game that you like about it, I feel like this is like a whole next level of that, like a whole different generation of Tekken 7. Is King broken? No, I won't say that. I'm not going to answer that. I don't think he's broken. I don't even know King like that. But I will say, if you've been on this channel, you know I'm anti-grappler meta. I hate grapplers at all. Street Fighter is the first time I'm like, okay, I like characters having command grabs here and there, but I don't like general grapplers, period. King is the first time I probably actually went, dang, I want to main a grappler. Like, he hits so good. Everything he does is so satisfying. Like, I'm like, oh, like I'm jerking back when he attacks. Someone asks, how does low parries work and can you combo off of it? Now, I've done like one low parry as June and somebody else did it to me and big damage came. Now, it could have been a specific scenario, but for right now, I think low parries are more execution heavy. They're not that easy to get off, at least early on. I only had an hour of playtime, so that could be wrong. Crytex asks, how was the graphics for this game? Now, 100% we know Bandai Namco and the Tekken team, Harada specifically, has stated that he's not 100% satisfied with the graphical fidelity, the look of the game right now. I personally think, on the other hand, it is a huge leap from Tekken 7 Tekken to me has always been one game series that helped push and define graphics for me. That's when it tells me when to upgrade my PC, which is why I'm waiting on Tekken 8 specs. But I 100% will tell you guys right now that playing it in person on like a 4K monitor with amazing sound quality headphones, I definitely think YouTube in some ways, because of compression, some people that have footage and not using a native capture cards and things like that, it does not do it justice. Like, I definitely think playing it and then getting acclimated with it after seeing it and looking at it on YouTube, I can admire it more. So having that interaction just made me like it overall. Now, to answer the big question in the room, is this just Tekken 7.5? Hell no. Number one, the game graphically looks very cool and unique. Number two, Tekken adds the cinematic intros back in the game that adds another level of hype to the gameplay. That's going to be good in tournaments, crowd settings, everywhere, YouTube even, content creators. That's going to be the big spectacle of Tekken 8 right there. Stage transitions are all pretty cool. That's more unique than Tekken 7 already. So you're already going to get more dynamic angles out of combat if that's your thing. And lastly, the heat system is a whole nother layer of like rage system, if I wanted to be honest with you. Like, if you want me to ask how I feel about Tekken 7, and you know, Tekken 8 can turn into a WQ game down the road, right? If I had to be honest, Tekken 7 is like a bologna sandwich that's made with a lot of complicated stuff on it. And then Tekken 8, from a gameplay perspective, feels like it's a Subway sandwich with a lot of stuff thoroughly planned out already. I feel that 100%. Again, this can all change when I get more time on the game and me actually recording it from my own house and my own setup, etc. But I do want to say this is not a Tekken 7.5. This game has impressed me 100%. And honestly, when the time comes, it might become my main game. I don't know. Depending on what comes out around the time and stuff like that. My granddad loved Tekken, so it feels like I gotta carry the mantle in that way. I'll be real with y'all. I love it as well. I just never thought about exploring it more than just a couple streams here and there back in the past. And also, shout out to Paulufu on Twitter, aka Paulushina. That is what she used to go by. She actually helped support the boy to get there when life wasn't hidden away. So I'm doing this for y'all, but go show her some love. Drop the link in the description to her Twitter and her social medias. So if you guys enjoyed today's video about my early access experience of Tekken 8, because you damn sure can't play it, go on, hit the like button and subscribe. If you got any more questions down below to talk about things and you want to ask more questions, go ahead and come through. Yeah, it's your boy Avataryaya. Follow me on Twitter, Avataryaya_. And remember, you guys are golden and that is raw. Squalla, peace, and I'm out.
Let's see who's stronger.